What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we will be breaking down the latest New York Jets news from Zach Wilson being in concussion protocol and why the Jets are activating Aaron Rodgers but not playing him. Don't panic, there's a reason for all of this. So first, let's start with the injury report from Robert Salah and where Zach Wilson is right now.
Zach is still in the concussion protocol. Bodden's dealing with a knee. John Franklin Myers is dealing with a hip. They won't practice. Everybody else is limited.
Zach's probably not looking great.
We'll see. His everything's improved, so I'm not closing the door on that yet.
Is he able to do the workout phase of the protocol yet? Treadmill and stuff?
That's a good question. I couldn't tell you. They tell me when he's ready for practice, and that's about my interest level.
Zach Wilson is still in concussion protocol, apparently improving. He says we'll see about Sunday, and at this point, it's still Wednesday. Hasn't been cleared for practice yet, as he is still in concussion protocol. That is obviously something that you want to hit on and want to put an emphasis on, that's still where he is. But it doesn't sound crazy promising, and I don't know if that's just me looking more on the negative side, but with some of the things that Zach Wilson, the symptoms that he was going through, right, where he wasn't able to play on Sunday because new details come out about his concussion, blurred vision, depth perception off. If Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed missed a couple of weeks with their concussion, it feels like, and again, things can change and everyone's concussion's different. I'm not saying there's no chance that Zach Wilson plays in this game, but it feels like I am leaning towards he won't. I think it's going to be Trevor Siemian playing, which don't love that, but we'll probably have a better idea on Friday, the next time Robert Salah speaks with the media. We will hear from Nathaniel Hackett on Thursday, tomorrow, and we will keep you updated throughout the week on any news there. But as I said, not the greatest of signs for Zach Wilson at this point, still being in concussion protocol. It's only been a couple of days. He has a few more days to go before you get to Sunday, but I personally would be surprised to see him suiting up. I think it would probably be Siemian or Rippon, but again, we'll see. Next up is Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers will be activated but not play, says Robert Salah, and the reason being they want to keep him around with the team.
Yeah, so he'll be. We're still going to keep him on the active. We've got the roster flexibility with all the different things that have happened over the course of the last couple of weeks, and like I said, it's all part of his rehab, and just having him out on the football field is a plus for everybody. It's a plus for him. It's a plus for his teammates, and so we're going to keep him on the 53.
Is this more for practice for him to continue to do that?
Yeah, to continue it's all part of the rehab. So there would be days when he's out there. There's days when he's not. And like I said, we just have the roster flexibility. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be able to afford to do this.
Again, that makes sense. You're not activating for him to go, okay, yeah, Zach Wilson can't go on Sunday. Oh, don't worry, Aaron Rodgers, you're gonna go in now and play for this 5-9 football team. That's not what anyone is saying. That sounds way too, I don't know if optimistic's not even the right word, but you know what I mean. That's not what's happening here. They're activating him so that he can continue to practice and be a part of the team through his rehab process, because if he was not activated, he would have to go on season-ending IR, which means that he is not able to practice with the team, and he and the Jets would rather have him around than practicing. And I saw people saying, well, so the Jets are basically playing with the 52-man roster the next 3 games. Again, they're eliminated. Doesn't really bother me. I'm not going to go nuts over it. I saw people say, well, you're costing someone their game check or costing someone, some payment or potentially a roster spot for some poor practice squad player. And that's a really crappy part of the business. That is something that is true that comes out of this. But my, again, rebuttal would be that I think this is a move to, one, keep Aaron Rodgers in the mix and to keep the guys who are going to be here. Again, I've talked about a reason why I'm not going to be the most upset person in the world if the Jets find a way to win a couple more games here. And I'm not actively rooting for them to win. I'm not actively rooting for them to lose. I am full go numb, and whatever happens, and then we'll react and draft appropriately for, wherever they end up. But point being, Guys like Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. On the defensive side of the ball, Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner. The Jets have a lot of young players, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, who unfortunately all they've seen is losing. And this losing streak, and if they were to go out, on a 10-game losing streak, we know they won against Houston, and we don't know if they're going to win any of their next remaining 3 games, but all that losing takes its toll. And to have that beacon of light, albeit, coming a year from now, Rodgers being around, being with the team and in the building and practicing with the team kind of keeps you in gear for the bigger picture and the bigger goal. At least that's my opinion on it. Again, I get it when people are upset, potentially losing a roster spot, but who cares? The 53rd guy on the roster now isn't going to play. Like what? They're not going to have that big of an impact anyway. On a team that's 5-9, what's the difference? Also, a surprising quote from Robert Salah on Aaron Rodgers saying he could play until the wheels fall off, maybe 3, 4, or 5 years even.
We want to win a championship. We believe we can win a championship. And I know he said 2 years, but in a perfect situation, we win a championship next year and he walks off in the sunlight, but that's a whole nother discussion for the offseason. So.
Take a couple more.
No, but you get the point. I think he's going to play until his wheels fall off. I don't think it's 1, 2. I think he'll go 3, 4, 5 if he can. That's just my opinion. So
it was funny. He mentioned, he being Robert Salah, that if they win the Super Bowl next year, ride off into the sunset. That's a great way to go out, which is true. I think that is a good way to go out. But he also said that he doesn't think it could be one and done. That he could play 2, 3, 4, 5 years if he wanted to. I don't know if I'm ready to go that far. When the trade was initially made, way back when, I always thought it would be 2 years, maybe 3. With the injury this year, it feels like an additional 2 years, so 3. Total makes sense. And anything beyond that, I think would be a bonus. But I think the Jets can reasonably expect Aaron Rodgers to be their quarterback in 2024 and 2025. That's not to say you punt off on a future quarterback plan forever. That's not what I'm saying, but I don't think that you need to take a quarterback in the first round this year. If you want to take a day 2, day 3 developmental guy, have him sit for a few years and get a veteran backup in here, fine. And you see how he develops over the next, season and preseason, and you evaluate from there. If you have to take a first rounder and use it on a quarterback in 25 or 26, different conversation, obviously, but it's not as pressing of a need as some maybe thought or some still think. Some are all the way out on Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback next year. I hear ya, I guess, but that's the reality. He's going to be here for, I think, 2 years, potentially more. I don't know. Robert Salah thinks he can play 5 years. I don't know if I'm at that point yet. We'll see, but I think reasonably expecting him to be the quarterback in 24 and 25 is fair. And finally, Robert Salah on free agency says to get his opinion is warranted. We're always going to include him when discussing Aaron Rodgers. So he's going to have to put his recruiting shoes on, and hopefully it goes better than this last go around, because Lazard, Billy Turner, Randall Cobb, Adrian Amos, Nathaniel Hackett, Billy Turner. I don't remember if I said Billy Turner or not. It didn't go great. I'm hoping that it's not like, hey, David Bakhtiari, and you're 2 games a season for the last half a decade, come on down. It may very well be Devontae Adams, which Devontae Adams is a very different kind of addition. It's, I know he's older, but he hasn't shown the same signs of decline that a Dalvin Cook. There you go. There's another one. Dalvin Cook showed last year. So hopefully it would go better this time around, but they're going to include him in their plans, which makes sense because this is, the quarterback's the most important position. When you have a star quarterback, that's what you do. That's just the reality. That's what you do. So let me know your thoughts on the latest New York Jets news from today, on Zach Wilson, on Aaron Rodgers. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Give the video a like before you go. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.